19, please be seated. Good evening. I'm Sharon Hobbs. I'm the principal here in grades 5 through 8. I want to welcome you to our graduation extravaganza this evening. To begin, I'm going to introduce Tara Mitchell, who is the chair of our school committee, to give a welcome.
Thank you, Dr. Hobbs. On behalf of the Lincoln School Committee, I would like to welcome all of the families, teachers, administrators, and of course, the graduates to the Lincoln Middle School 8th grade graduation ceremony. We all know that it took a lot of work in preparing for this event, so I extend gratitude to the school faculty, staff, and parent volunteers who made tonight's celebration possible. This is my first 8th grade graduation as chair of the school committee. So in preparing for this event, I did what I assume is protocol for most 8th graders when met with a new challenge. I texted a few friends and then Googled the best 8th grade graduation speech by a school committee chairperson. You may have guessed, it came up with 0 results. But perhaps that is appropriate, since rather than interacting directly with you, our job as a school committee is to hire and retain an inspiring superintendent, to put in place policies to create an effective, safe learning environment, promote the vision of education using 21st century learning principles, and secure the funding to make all of that happen. Oh, we've also been spending a little bit of time on the school building project. So while I'm under no misconception that you will remember anything that I may say tonight, I am confident that there will be a few things that you will always remember about your time at the Lincoln Middle School. Perhaps it will be building a chicken coop in applied technology, where you wielded power tools and learned about the responsibility of careful planning, communication up and down the supply chain, and the satisfaction that comes along with building something by hand. Or maybe using the Socratic seminar in English language arts, where you learned to self-reflect and give feedback to others. Maybe participating in the STEAM Day, where you thought about issues in this school and came up with creative ways to solve them. School trips to the Museum of Science, Sargent Center, and recently, Washington, D.C., where perhaps a change in scenery might have allowed you to open up, share, and learn about your classmates in a wider context. I hope you will also remember that special teacher who inspired you to push you beyond your perceived limits, helped you with the concepts you were struggling with, or had confidence in your abilities when you did not. And finally, the friendships you formed. As Jane Miller alluded to this morning, as you move on to high school, some of you will be excited to be part of a much larger community, while others might be a bit hesitant to leave the comfort of knowing every single person in the hallway. Whichever group you fall into, know that all of you will benefit from the smile of a familiar face and can count on the support of your Lincoln classmates for years to come. 8th graders, your time in the Lincoln schools has been about building a foundation of learning, self-reflection, and continuous improvement. It has been about getting to know yourselves within the safety of this community, where even though everyone has different strengths and varying opinions, it's supportive and encouraging one another. It has been about coming to the understanding that you are the only you, and hopefully very soon you will come to realize that the world needs your input. So while we are confident that as you move on from the Lincoln Middle School, you are well prepared for the next chapter, we don't know how the plot will twist, or even what the book is really about, because you get to write it. And we can't wait to hear all about it in the years to come. Congratulations, and best of luck.
Hello folks, my name is Steve Collins. I'm the 8th grade social studies teacher and 8th grade team leader. And I want to thank you for coming out today to support this outstanding group of young people. We had a recognition assembly this morning, and at that assembly we had We had a student that gave a student address, and that was Jane Miller. She did a fantastic job. This evening, we have two different students who are going to make a student address as well. So at this point, I'm going to call up Charlotte Falcone to give the student address.
It is my pleasure to welcome friends, families, and teachers to the class of 2019's graduation. Before I begin my speech, I would like to thank all the amazing teachers and staff that have made this event possible. Furthermore, I would like to take a moment to say that I am extremely grateful to all the teachers who have helped me achieve my academic goals, giving a special thanks to those who have supported me in special education. As I was thinking of high school and the massive transition that we are all about to make, I recalled one of Stephen Hawking's famous quotes: "Intelligence is the ability to adapt to change." I believe that this holds true because the only constant in any of our lives is change. Our class is about to embark on a major transition into high school. Whether you're going to LS, private school, or boarding, it will be a change. Whether one is excited or nervous about going into them, it's a change nonetheless, and one that we'll have to adapt to. However, I'm convinced that every single one of us is capable of this transition because of the support of our teachers, parents, and mentors. They've believed in us and pushed us to be our best in our time at home. Although we are leaving the school behind, experiences and memories will stay with us as we continue our education. Even though this transition may seem daunting, rest assured we are prepared to face it. I know that when I'm older, I will look back fondly on the memories that I had at Clinton. All of the friends I have made, I hope I will be friends with as I continue my education. I'm sad to leave this familiar place, but I look forward to the transition into high school, as nerve-wracking as it may be. So I will leave you with one more quote by Mr. Hawking before I conclude. Remember to look up at the stars and not down at your feet. Try to make sense of what you see and wonder what makes the universe exist. Be curious, and however difficult life may seem, there is always something you can do and succeed at. And it matters that you don't just give up. Thank you.
Thank you, Charlotte. I'd like to call up Elin Fernandez, please.
As a medical student attending the Lincoln School for 9 years, I've learned a lot. For instance, I've learned my bus route. Heck, I've been on it for so long I could drive the bus myself. I've also learned how to evenly distribute my phone's battery percentage throughout 2 bus rides. And if you know me, you know that was a major accomplishment. Most importantly, I've learned how much I adore the school and its people, whether they're students or staff, because they've helped me grow as a person, as a student, and as a member of this community. I've learned that if I needed somewhere to stay, I could count on every single one of my friends in this room. Furthermore, probably like many of the students in this room, I'm excited for high school. I'm looking forward to making new friends, spreading positivity, and growing even more than I did here. Hopefully a few more inches height-wise as well. Another thing I am thrilled about is finally being able to walk up some steps in school. Seriously, I don't know about you guys, but every time I watch Mean Girls, which is a lot, I try to picture myself next to Lindsay Lohan walking up and down the steps of North Shore High School, but I just can't. I wanted to say thank you to the teachers for dealing with this. I know it was tough, but you made it. I guess today's like graduation for you too. So thank you to my friends, thank you to the PTO, thank you to my family, thank you to the MECO program, and most importantly, thank you to the Lincoln School for these 9 amazing years.
that was, until you said Mean Girls, this is probably the 15th year in a row on this bus trip to DC that we've watched Mean Girls. Make it stop. Make the students like it. So thank you, great job by both Charlotte and Nina. So this is the portion where we'll have presentations. So we have 6 different presentations at this time. So to start off, from the Lincoln Historical Society, we'll have Sarah Bishop. Come up, please.
Seeing that I'm presenting the Lincoln Historical Society's award, I felt I could share a little Lincoln history of my own. I actually graduated from Brooks School in June 1969, and I remember the night as clear as if it were yesterday. For those of you who can't do the math in your heads, that was exactly 50 years ago. So I send out a very special wish to my fellow Brooks School graduates that the years ahead will be full of great learning, true friendships, and thrilling adventures. Onward you go. The recipient of this year's Lincoln Historical Society Award is a bright and talented young man. He has a deep knowledge of the world around him, and he is a frequent contributor in class discussions. He has an enthusiasm and a passion for history, for politics, and civic engagement. This student was an active participant for 2 years in Youth in Philanthropy, as well as a leader in the 8th grade Warrant Article group. This student understands the complexity of world issues in a sophisticated manner, while demonstrating advanced analytical skills. He argues eloquently in class debates and demonstrates deep conviction. I am proud to announce the recipient of this year's Lincoln Historical Society Award to David Christenfeld.
Okay, next up is presenting the Robert W. Trainer Award is our school art teacher, Pamela DiBiase.
The Robert Trainer Award is given on behalf of a practicing artist who was an art teacher at the Brooks School for a large portion of his professional career. His passion and love for teaching art was inspirational for many generations of Lincoln school students. In honor of Mr. Trainer, the students who received this award possess the following attributes: a unique creative process of invention, an original style, a high level of skill, strong, consistent effort, class integrity, and above all else, a true passion for art. This year's recipients both possess these qualities and more. Our first recipient is a young lady to whom creativity and color are intuitive. She enjoys exploring materials and developing her technique. She is a master colorist, and she deftly employs brushstroke to evoke beauty and movement within her paintings. Her work is filled with meaning, passion, and her personal view of the world. This recipient is kind to her peers, open to new ideas and materials, and she is always ready to create. I have truly enjoyed watching her develop her craft over the past 4 years. It gives me great pleasure to award this Robert Trainer Award to Sydney Williams. Our second recipient is a young man who is highly creative and reflective about materials, lines, and images. He is extremely introspective and reflective about his own work as well as the work of others. He is a deep thinker, creating artworks with personal meaning. He spends many lunches in the art room and is often looking for something to practice drawing. He has also spent time with me after school at the De Cordova, where I was able to form an artisan's friendship with him on a creative level. Amongst his peers, he can focus on his work and discuss artistic ideas. He is always willing to help a peer with suggestions and support. And we've also done a lot of math problems together. After 4 years of watching him grow as an artist, it gives me great pleasure to award this Robert Trainer Award to Elijah Williams.
Brother and sister combo, wow. Look, the Williams parents. All right, so the next award is the Lincoln Teachers Association Award, which will be presented by the 8th grade math teacher, Susan Totten.
Good evening. In offering this award, the Lincoln Teachers Association wishes to recognize 2 students from the graduating class who have demonstrated the attributes of good citizenship and who have consistently made positive contributions to the life of the Lincoln School through their efforts in classes, their relationships with teachers and other students, and their involvement in school activities. This year's winners of the LTA Award have distinguished themselves by their willingness to serve the school community as well as the community at large. This evening, we honor 2 students. Our first honoree is an energetic and enthusiastic student who has willingly volunteered for numerous school and community service opportunities, including the Green Team and Student Council. An excellent time manager, this individual has performed as an outstanding learner while competing in cross-country skiing, IMLAM, and Lincoln's championship Lego robotics team. Possessing a generous spirit, she is always willing to help out in any way she can. In the classroom, she is thoughtful and insightful. The first award goes with gratitude to Emily Appleby. Our second honoree is noted for having a cheerful disposition, as well as a commitment to academics. Noteworthy for being courteous and respectful, this individual is kind to others and is often the first to extend a helping hand. He has also participated in numerous activities, including Cor Unum, Project 351, the Scarecrow Classic, and the PTO Picnic. As a METCO student, our young person embodies the METCO ideal of one school, one community. A strong student and an exemplary citizen who demonstrates perseverance and takes pride in his work, he is the recipient of our second LTA award. Congratulations to Neelan Fernandez.
Okay, so the next award is the Pip Moss Music Award, which will be presented by our school music teacher, Karen Shepard.
Good evening, everyone. The recipient of the Pip Moss Music Award has demonstrated exceptional talent in instrumental and/or vocal aptitude. The student has participated in school musical activities and has shown that music will always be an important part of his or her life. We have such a musical group of 8th graders this year. You are students that care about your craft and the product that you create. I have been so fortunate to work with each of you. We have 2 recipients tonight. Both of these students started out in our 5th grade instrumental program, and they both flourished from there, taking on lots of musical challenges through their years at the Lincoln School. Both of these students have demonstrated aptitude and talent. Talent is an elusive concept. Dictionary.com defines it as a capacity for achievement or success. To me, that means talent therefore requires discipline, passion for what you are doing, hard work, reflection of your craft, and commitment. Both of these students have certainly displayed these qualities consistently since the 5th grade. They were good captains for their music team, exhibiting leadership in sectionals and rehearsals. I am very proud to know that they are continuing their musical enterprises when they are in high school in the fall. I am so very proud of them and have enjoyed watching them go from shy and quiet 5th grade beginning instrumentalists playing the 3-note hot cross buns to poised and sophisticated 8th grade musicians. They collectively have taken on every musical experience and challenge possible at this school, from singing in chorus, performing in the musicals, taking on challenging repertoire in band, staying late on Friday afternoons for flute ensemble, getting up earlier than most of us to learn alto sax for jazz band, and even learning to rap in an extension class. This year's Pip Moss Awards go to Allie Schwartz and Ellie Lee Manning.
So the next award is the Alfred Callahan Award, which will be presented by our 8th grade science teacher, Miss Julie Reynolds.
Good evening. In their middle school study of applied technology and engineering, our students have had the opportunity to conduct hands-on experimentation, to use critical thinking skills, and collaborate with each other. They have researched challenging problems facing society, and they have seen their own ideas come to life through the production of tangible products. Tonight we present an award that commemorates the life and 30-year dedication to the Lincoln Public Schools of Alfred A. Callahan, industrial arts teacher. This award honors an 8th grade student who has demonstrated interest and achievement in applied technology and engineering. The student we honor is a creative problem solver who is able to consider multiple perspectives when confronting a challenge. He utilizes a methodical approach to design and is known for his distinct style of writing when asked to explain his ideas. The student is a quick thinker and added energy and positive enthusiasm to our applied technology and engineering class. This student considers how details fit into the larger picture and often connects personal experience to learning within the classroom. From brainstorming ideas to creating detailed CAD drawings to the construction of a working prototype, This student demonstrated facility with the engineering design process. Always willing to lend a hand, this student could often be found demonstrating how to correctly use a power tool or other equipment to classmates. This student has also worked on the soundboard for theater productions in 6th, 7th, and 8th grades, and has mastered the intricacies of the board and the microphones. The performing arts staff has come to rely heavily on this student's expertise. It is my sincere hope that this student will continue to study in the field of engineering. It is a true pleasure to present the Alfred A. Callahan Award to Kenneth Hawkins.
So before I introduce the final presenter, I just want to say, this morning we had a recognition assembly for all 8th graders, and every single student here was identified for being their involvement in whether it was physical education, achievement, or community service involvement, art, music, warrant articles. I mean, this is an exceptional group, I just want to say. So if we can just give everyone a round of applause. Following that up with is that we're identifying we're singling out 9 individuals. There are so many that would be, it was just very difficult. We have so many talented people here. So I don't want people to feel badly because there's so many of you who are worthy of so many things. I know you're all going to do great things next year in high school. So with that out of the way, I just wanted to introduce the final speaker. This is for the final award of the evening, which is the Lawrence Green Award. It will be presented by Hillary Skelton.
This award is given in memory of Lawrence Green, a doctor, a scholar, a father of 2 graduates of the Lincoln School, and a resident of Lincoln until his death in 1981. Dr. Green exemplified the qualities of personal integrity and scholastic achievement. Therefore, we would like to recognize a student who, like the namesake of this award, Dr. Lawrence Green, demonstrates exceptional academic ability in all areas of the humanities and the sciences. However, the person we are honoring tonight is not only a gifted student in all areas of academia, but a talented artist and a star athlete. An intrinsic passion for learning, intellectual curiosity, and a desire to engage in critical discourse make this student a standout among the 8th graders. Focus, drive, and diligence also describe the defining characteristics of tonight's recipient. A champion of the power of education, former First Lady Michelle Obama once talked about her own experiences as a student, saying, quote, "I never cut class. I loved getting A's. I liked being smart. I liked being on time. I thought being smart is cooler than anything else in the world." And these words perfectly describe the attitude of tonight's honoree as well. Therefore, it is with great pleasure and admiration that we present this year's 2019 Lawrence Green Award to Madison St. Clair.
Now comes the part you really showed up for. Will the class of 2019 please come forward? Rocco P. Contos. Penelope Franco. Jared George Stubblebine. Henry David Johnson Kramer. Valerie Alexandra Smirnov. Oliver Tambolini. Neva Krish Manandar. Jane Halliday Miller. Elijah Isai Williams. Ellie Christine Plunkett Emanuel. Charlotte Ann Balcone. Javier Alejandro Damon. Abigail Ada Hedlund. Axel Carson. James Gainey. Charles Walter McLaughlin. Virginia Wade Perry. Gregory Joseph Salvucci Jr. Liao John. Sydney Ray Williams. Allison Grace Weber. Kyle Atwood. Julia Carolyn Topa Cummings. Adam Michael Foley. Tamara Marcos Brilliant. Alexander Marcelo Liazos Buendia. Sarah Ann Campanella. Henry Reese Darnell. Kenneth Hockey. Hannah Dorothy Gabluski. Benjamin Alpervitz. Emily Mary Appleby. Alexandra Boland. Patrick Fogarty Blanc. Owen Gabriel Baldwin Carr. Sasha Allen McCarty. Ricardo Gomez Pinto. Grayson Thomas Wells. Zachary John Gerhauser. Martina Sarah Bortolato. Calvin Joan Hill. Andrew John Craig. Madison Vivian St. Clair. Isaiah Anthony Jones. Allison Irene Schwartz. David Adam Christenfeld. Penelope Grace Stephenson. Tessa Sigareta Sutherland. Alexandra Holiday Lee. Leland Alves Fernandez. Francesca Jeanne Liu. Oren Brendan Remley. Laura M. Johnson. Sean Ryan Cohen. Angelina Marissa Julia Lea. Aristide Stefanis. Ingrid Catherine Felsch. Cameron Spencer Chase. Alec Bisra. Jada Marie Nicole Williams. Ryan Gamey. Nora Paycock. Now we can applaud them all. So we have celebrated this evening a group of artists, actors, athletes, musicians, academicians, leaders, and all-around good people. You came into the middle school, and over time you have claimed your place and made your mark on the school. You have enthusiastically embraced your passions, whether on a school sports team, in theater, art, or music. Many of you played on sports teams all of your middle school years. You were instrumental in shows across the years, whether on stage, running sound, or managing the backstage. Some played multiple instruments in multiple ensembles, showcasing outstanding musical ability. You were activists, participating in the student affinity group that worked with each other and then teachers even as sixth graders. You eagerly joined the walkout after the Parkland shooting, letting your silence speak volumes about how you felt about school safety. As eighth graders, you led the school well. In our effort to create an all-school day in each quarter of the school year, the Student Council, with important input from you, devised an amazing minute-to-win-it game. You thought hard about what games would be accessible to the range of ages in our school and chose games that provided challenge and yet were fun for everyone. 5 of you answered the call to explore town government and became the G8 group that shepherded a warrant article that, for the first time, was a citizen's petition for a town action rather than for an expenditure. The learning that you did about how asking for a ban works and your clear presentations to multiple boards and town meeting won you a majority vote to ban e-cigarettes from the town. You gave your time for 35 different community service opportunities. From helping locally at Codman Farm to helping in Boston at Project 351 with the governor and with the South Sudanese Education Foundation. All year, you joined Mr. Cullen and other faculty and adults serving dinners at Cor Unum in Lawrence. A new record, 52 of you signed on to be Olympic captains. Embracing the idea that being together as a team is more fun than competing in a fragmented way, you worked with the committee of teachers to create the first ever scavenger hunt. The event allowed teams to capitalize on the strengths of each member to solve clues and move around campus through a variety of activities. The second part of the day continued with full team games, allowing team members to get to know each other in ways we have not seen before. 6 of you created a great playlist that gave the event a new level of spirit as music played all day. I applaud your creativity, willingness to try something new, and ability to lead your teams well. As a cohort, you have also invited me into your learning, sharing over the years the learning that has grown with you to make you the students you are now. I have often looked over your shoulders as you wrote about what made you unique or responded to a piece of literature in English class. It made me think about the power of punctuation to help a reader understand the emotion of a piece. Commas and semicolons are used to help us pause. That can be used at the end of a series of events, a trimester, or a project. The pause helps us to take a break in the action and breathe for a minute. In a school setting, commas and semicolons can even happen in the course of a day, saying hello to someone in the hallway, a quick conversation between periods, or the chance to get to lunchtime to see friends who aren't in your classes regularly. Teachers provide pauses along the way as they invite you to review for an assessment, to practice speeches that will be delivered soon, or even just to take a deep breath. Periods invite pause as well, but with more feeling. The end of a year, the end of your time in K4, the choice to be done playing an instrument or a sport, the conclusion of a musical or a festival drama piece. All are marked by the definitive stop that is a period. Over the course of your time in a Lincoln school, you have experienced many times along the way where there have been endings. As each year provides a new beginning and the opportunity to start something new, it's harder to recognize in the moment the full stop times, and yet there are many of them along the way from kindergarten to 8th grade. Then there are the events that require the heft of an exclamation point. A great sports season, a superior rating at Trills and Thrills, a new student joining you in your middle school years, the high school visiting and asking you to make course selections for next year, and certainly an event like a graduation. These are the moments that are exciting and need that excitement to be seen and felt by those who are participating with you and those who are cheering from the sides. While we're in the moment, we don't often think about punctuation and the place that it holds in defining the depth or importance of an event. And yet, as each beginning becomes an end, it is the way in which we mark our feelings and the moment. So, I wish for you as you leave, the ability to pause in the moment and give yourself the opportunity to know whether you're experiencing a small pause or a real ending. The strength to know that most events in life are part of a series of events, and that a difficult time can end and a wonderful time can begin just like that. And the excitement of times that are marked with an exclamation point. Know that we will always be glad to see you and to hear your stories when you come back to visit us along the way. And we mean that. And now, will the graduates of 2019 please rise?